Hello, everyone, and welcome to Snap Take. This is Glazer of Snap Judgments, the official podcast of Marvel Snap Zone. And today we have four great decks for you, including two that run the card coming out later today, Bruce Banner. It's possible you're watching this as Bruce Banner comes out. If that is the case, I'm going to go through a whole spiel where we review this card, but I'm going to impress upon everyone as best I possibly can that you should not, if you are just looking at getting this card, be opening immediately. No one is quite sure how good Bruce Banner is. This 2-1 Series 5 6,000 token card says when you end a turn with unspent energy, there's a 25% chance to Hulk out, which means if you skip energy, turns 3, 4, 5, 6, you end up with a 60 something percent chance of Bruce becoming the Hulk. 212 is pretty good, but all that extra energy adds up. In fact, if you don't spend all your energy on 3, 4, 5, or 6, you spent 6 to get that 12 energy for Bruce Banner. That doesn't seem like an especially good deal to me. There are going to be games where you drop him and then he cold straight turns into Hulk and it wins you the game. But the 25% chance that variance just really isn't worth it. That's the same odds as Danger Room, and it might feel very bad for Danger Room, but the secret is, and good players know this, that for Danger Room, what you're supposed to do is just play on it. For Banner, what you're supposed to do is just assume it's not going to happen, unless they're basically giving up massive amounts of power anywhere else. This card is very unlikely to be good. My working theory is that this is going to be the worst card this season, the worst card of the past several months. There is, however, a caveat to that. Bad cards that don't work, especially when they're really big Marvel characters like Bruce Banner slash the Hulk, tend to get buffed. If this is a 2-3 or a 2-4, suddenly it's probably worthwhile to take that gamble. You're not getting as much upside when it transforms because plus 11 is much more than plus 8, right? But the downside is therefore mitigated. A 2-1 is almost a useless card. So there is potential for this card to later become good, even if it isn't immediately. But even more than that, while I assume this is bad, I don't know for sure. I and many other content creators thought War Machine would be incredible. I and many other content creators thought the original Loki wasn't going to be a wonderful card, and it ended up being one of the best cards in the history of the game. There's no guarantee that our initial impressions, our initial thoughts about a new card are correct, and as such, we urge you to wait as long as possible before you use spotlights on any new card. What that means is Friday, when weekend missions come out and buying the card and using it in weekend missions can get you tokens, is the first time that we're going to give an actual recommendation about what to do with the card. Then on either Sunday or Monday's video, because there is a video every day, there will be a last chance review. On Thursday's video, we will ask a bunch of top players, players who really know the meta, understand the power level of cards, what they think of Bruce Banner, and they will give their feedback as well. So that'll be the day after Christmas. I don't like this card. I do think this card does have several homes, even if I don't think it's very good. The first of those homes is the deck that Sizer is starting with. Sizer is the current number one player on the Infinite Leaderboard. He was the number one player in 3 other seasons, and number two, I believe, 2 or 3 other times besides that. He's one of the best and most consistent players in Marvel Snap, and he's just straight up was like, this is where I am starting. This is where I want to start with Bruce Banner, which makes some sense, right? Bruce has a lot of synergy with High Evolutionary. In fact, High Evolutionary will be in spotlights with Bruce Banner. So if you don't have Evolutionary, this will be a deck that you can basically make out of the box by just getting these 2 cards. Now, what's the synergy here? So fundamentally, the synergy is Sunspot and Misty benefit you from skipping energy. She-Hulk gets cheaper when you skip energy. Cyclops benefits when you skip energy. All of these things give you an extra chance at Bruce Banner hulking out. If Bruce Banner hulks out, you have an extra 12 power on top of what is likely to be 19 power from Abomination and She-Hulk, a lot of growth and scaling from Sunspot and Misty and Cyclops. And that's enough to win games of Marvel Snap. Is this going to be the best deck in the game? No. Is this going to be a tier 1 meta deck? No. Might this be the best home for Bruce Banner? Yeah, I could absolutely see that. I think that there's a lot of power to this deck. High Evolutionary's win rate never really tanked out. It remains a successful deck, just one that's not really played nearly as often. You can find Sizer streaming this deck later today at twitch.tv/Sizer2654. I'm going to tell you right now, he's not going to tank his ladder. He's very likely to end up playing this in Conquest, but he will give it some play. There are 2 high series cards and only two high series cards needed for this list. They are High Evolutionary and Bruce himself. If you don't get Bruce, there's other High Evolutionary lists to run. We'll look at one pretty soon. Hydra Bob can be Nebula or Shocker. Red Guardian can be Rogue, and Shang could still be Enchantress. It depends what you're seeing. If Doom 2099 is your whole meta, then Shang should probably be Enchantress. So this is fundamentally what Bruce is a cheap starting place to playing some good decks, and as such, this is a really good way to begin doing so. Turn 1, you can play Sunspot or Misty. Turn 2, Bruce. Turn 3, Cyclops. Turn 4 almost has to be your Hazmat turn if you have She-Hulk. If not, you can try turn 5, but if you top deck She-Hulk, you're going to feel terrible. So you want Hazmat and generally speaking a 1 on turn 4 so that you can trigger Cyclops and potentially trigger Bruce. Turn 5, you pass. And then turn 6, you She-Hulk, Abomination, and Shang-Chi. Cool. That's a lot of power. If you can drop She-Hulk and Abomination, that's 19 power, right? And if you can get that Shang, well, you've probably won the game. That's really, really powerful. That's important, especially if you get the fundamentally 212 out of the Bruce because you're getting all that extra power from Sunspot, Misty, Cyclops, the cheapness of She-Hulk. Now, one of the big problems this card has is skipping 1 energy is the same as skipping 5 energy, or at least we believe at this point, without the card releasing, that skipping 1 energy is the same as skipping 5 energy. If skipping 5 energy gives you a greater chance at Bruce hulking out, then all of a sudden this deck would go crazy. That could be a potential change they make to the card if this ends up severely underperforming, which again I think might end up being the situation. We're going to look at a more traditional Evo because I feel like more people are going to get Evo, but once again we had to begin with when the number 1 player sends you a deck, you got to at least give it a look and see if this is something that can work out. Before we go further, I'm going to ask you to hit that sub, like, and comment button. Our goal is to hit 25,000 subs next year. We're at 16,000 right now, and we need your support to get there. In return, we're going to give you 7 days a week of Marvel Snap videos with at least 3 decks every single day. It is Christmas Eve. Merry Christmas Eve to anyone who celebrates. Y'all, we miss 0 days. We've missed 0 days since March, since we started this, right? So if you want the most consistent Marvel Snap content, hit that sub button. Liking and commenting both help us out. It's a wonderful Christmas present. Completely free ways to support us, right? And they enter you win a season pass. I'm going to have a way to win an extra season pass, an extra copy of Galacta. Well, I'm giving away an extra copy of Galacta at the end of the video. It's in the last deck we're going to talk about. So if you're interested, make sure you stay tuned to that. But we give away a Galacta a week for this week. And next week, we're going to kick off our next season pass giveaway, which is going to be Iron Patriot. We're going to give away 5 Iron Patriots next week. So if all you have to do is sub, like, and later this video, I'll ask you to leave a comment. Comment, win. All right, let's talk about these spotlights that come with Bruce Banner. So I feel like they're sticking Bruce Banner in the spotlights for the fabled I play on the toilet crowd. We've all heard, if you're engaged in the Marvel Snap community, that there's this large contingent of players that only plays for a few minutes of the day, doesn't play very seriously, doesn't engage with content. Bruce Banner, a famous character with a famous alter ego, the Hulk, from MCU, from comics, from TV shows, from everything, is a card that players who play casually are likely to want. It is my contention, it is my guess, that they are pairing Bruce Banner with particularly High Evolutionary Ravonna Renslayer because they're cards that they want to get in the hands of those casual, fabled toilet players. High Evolutionary is a card that, if you are in Series 3, automatically gives you a deck. Automatically having a deck is a reasonably good deal, right? Just getting a card and then having a deck is a very good deal. Is that deck tier 1? Probably not. But are those people really competing at high infinite? Is that where they are in their Marvel Snap journey? No, right? Most of the casual players are trying to have fun, build decks, and hit infinite. High Evolutionary gives them a really good option to do so. Meanwhile, Ravonna Renslayer is yet another card, though Series 4, that opens up a ton of options. People that have Iron Man, people that want to play Mr. Negativeless, do really, really well with Ravonna Renslayer. Ravonna is yet another card that opens up a ton of archetypes. A thing I've been doing that we'll talk about later in the video is I build decks for Series 3 players on my live stream on Twitch. Pulse Glazer if you're interested. As I do so, I keep realizing how much these players' collections would benefit from simply owning Ravonna Renslayer. As such, I think they're using Bruce as a way to get cards that benefit newer collection players at the end of the collection. So that means if you're an endgame player, this might not be the week for you. But if you're new, if you're in the early parts of Series 3, say like 3 to 5,000 collection level, suddenly this week looks a lot more attractive, even if Bruce Banner is not set to be very good. We will do a Ravonna deck later. We are going to begin with one more Evo deck. This one is from the great Rez Snapper. Rez Snapper is a person who does basically has made the focus of their content new cards and card acquisition. So Rez builds a bunch of decks for these new cards every week. You should go check out his YouTube. You won't be sad. But this is a much more traditional version of a high evolutionary deck. This is the kind of thing most of us have been playing for ages since the card came out. Although Moon Girl is, not always in the list. What you fundamentally get here is a chance at Bruce Banner, right? And an extra chance if you play Magic, but Bruce is just an extra body here. Not an important thing to do. What you want to do, what your goal is to go something like Luna into Moon Girl into pass, and then if you pass, your She-Hulk, hopefully two She-Hulks, will cost 0. That's 20 power with Moon Girl, right? And then your Hulk is a 6 whatever, 614, 616. So you get that like 28 power, 36, 30-ish power out on the board. And if you're Bruce transformed, you just turn that into 48, which is enough to compete with almost anything in Marvel Snap. It's a really, really cool concept, right? It's a very powerful way to play the game, and it can effectively dominate. Um, because it's not going to appear on the turn by turn, I just want to make you aware of Wasp's use here. Wasp is a card you drop in order to manage your hand size when you're planning on moon girling. She's outside of that. She's just an extra 2 power, right? Because she's going to have her ability from High Evolutionary. She's not important otherwise. But that use is still quite good. You can find Red Snapper at youtube.com/@RedSnapper. This deck needs only High Evo. Ridiculous, right? Only High Evo. If you don't have Penny Parker, you are running Psylocke. Luna Snow, unfortunately, is a high series replacement. I would suggest Hope. If you don't have Bruce, you're looking at Scorpion, you're looking at Shocker. Pick a good 2-drop. Bruce is, again, good here, but not a requirement at all. Red Snapper is the newest berry. We had Drew Berry, who had a whole channel dedicated to new card content. Then we had Docty, who did an absolute ton of new card content for quite a long time. And now we ended up with Red Snapper, who's the newest in the line and one of the best in the line of new card content people. So turn 1 is Sunspotter Misty, turn 2 Bruce or 1, or sometimes you drop Penny. Turn 3 Magic, Luna or Penny. Scott is fine. Cyclops being Scott, excuse me. Scott Summers. Cyclops is a fine play here. Turn 4, you want to do the same thing as 3, but you can also drop Spider on Penny. If you have an extra turn, you're gonna just bump up your 4 to 5 and your skip 6 instead of skip 5. Cool. So if you get the magic down, you're skipping 6 to play 7. If you don't get the magic down, you're skipping 5 to play 6. Whatever makes you happy. You can also end up moon girling on turn 4. Turn 5, you pass, and then turn 6, you play She-Hulk and Hulks. Cool. One last look at this. This is going to be the straightforward place to start. I know it uses a lot of cards from the season. If you're the type of person who kind of went nuts for Rivals, I keep hearing of people that did this. It's not me. I get all the cards. I'm a content creator, but I do know people that sort of went nuts for Rivals and have been getting all the cards. This is a good way to play several of your Rivals cards, including the underexplored Luna Snow and underrated Penny Parker with the new card Bruce Banner. So if you're really into Rivals, this is a good place to be. Our season pass question for those of you looking to win Galacta today is, what is your favorite/least favorite holiday song? And if you'd like to hear my answer to that question along with a massive amount of Marvel Snap talk, please check out the Snap Decisions podcast, not Snap Judgments podcast. We'll be recording that this Thursday, but the Snap Decisions podcast, which is our friend Joe's podcast. Myself, Nick the Greek Geek, and Gunny T were on the podcast. We answered a million Marvel Snap questions while also talking about favorite and least favorite holiday songs. So please check that out. We also recorded that live on my stream, so if you'd like to check out our stream, check out twitch.tv/PulseGlazer. I stream at this point almost every day. I'm going to get a full schedule out, but if you just hit follow now, you'll get the notification and you can check it out. All right, we have KX Friends Mood 9902. You see what I did there? I should have just called it Bad Mood, but what are you going to do? All right, this is a KX Friendless. KX Friend is a top Marvel Snap player. He's been playing a little less lately. His whole group has. He's amongst the same group of players as Yowie MJ, Husky Puppies, etc. But he still had time to create this extremely powerful list. Fundamentally, the big weakness that Mr. Negative has is if you don't see Mr. Negative, it's very hard to win. Well, Doom 2099 says, what if you just on turn 4 play Doom, turn 5 play Iron Man or Blue Marvel, turn 6 play Doom? You're going to win a reasonable number of games that way, right? So you lose a little bit of your very, very top end negative value, and in exchange, you get a lot more consistent of a deck. So this is really cool. You can find KX Friend at twitch.tv/ KX4N. We're going to do two other versions on the next two slides. This is our Ravonna style list for the day. There's a million Ravonna lists. My serious advice, as I again want to make this clear, is that Ravonna is one of the most important cards in Marvel Snap for collection incomplete people. Mr. Negative Conquest. This is an older Mr. Negative list that runs Gore and Taskmaster. You don't need to have Doom 2099 in order to play the list. This is one way to go. If you don't have Sage for this list, feel free to try Wolfsbane. It's worse with Jane, but you'll be fine. But this is another negative list. And then the other big negative list, this is the Zombies Go Nom Nom version of the Null version. Before Gore came out, Null was the standard bearer in that spot. This list still works absolutely great too, so don't feel like you have to have Doom 2099 in order to play a Ravonna negative list. It is a very, very, very Series 3 friendly deck that is very strong and capable of winning. February of this year, February of 2024, it was the #1 deck on the Infinite Leaderboard, which should have been impossible because that was when Thanos was both incredible and running Mobius. But with smart negative play, you're never going to have the best win rate, but you can make your cube rate absolutely soar. All right, so turn 1 you pass, turn 2 is Psylocke or Ravonna. Turn 3, negative over Doom over Magic, and Magic is more or less equal to Cassandra Nova. You're going to have to decide what combos you're going for. Turn 4 is the same concept as turn 3. Turn 5, Blue Marvel or Iron Man. Turn 6, Doom or Gore. And if you got negative going and you can play like Gore and Mystique, or Gore and Iron Man, or Iron Man and Mystique, or whatever, then you do that instead. That's basically, trust me, a lot more power than Doom 2099 and just playing one card. That's it. This is super simple. We're going to finish up this video with a tournament winner and an extra giveaway. So don't forget that extra giveaway is coming, but one last look at KX Friends Doom Negative. Negative lists are, again, deceptively difficult to play, but if you practice with them, if you know what you're doing, you're going to win a lot of cubes. If you'd like to see gameplay for all these decks, please check out the stream team. I don't know if he's actually streaming today because it's Christmas Eve, but Prashaun is hopefully streaming about 12 p.m. Eastern to give a look-see to all these great decks. Then we have No Lux Given, who played in a tournament. No Lux Given is a free-to-play player and a content creator here on YouTube who crushed a tournament with this awesome list. I had the misfortune of playing No Lux Given in the latest creator tournament where he kicked my butt. He is an excellent player, and this is an absolutely excellent list that I urge you to give a try. You can find No Lux Given at youtube.com/ it should be at No Lux Given. Please do go check him out because that's how you end up getting an extra season pass. What you're going to do is you're going to go to his channel, right? And you're going to sub and watch his video about this tournament. If he hits 2,000 subs by the end of 2024, before 2025 comes, I'm giving away an extra season pass. I don't know if it'll be Galactor or Iron Patriot. We'll see if there's time. But go sub and make sure you comment on his video so I know that you went there. Someone who does that is going to get that extra season pass. This really only needs Wiccan. Everything else is replaceable, though the deck gets significantly weaker the fewer cards you have. Kate or Penny can go for Jeff, Fenris, Scarlet, or whatever, but having either Kate or Penny is important. The logic of Kate in a Wiccan deck is very simple. If you draw 2 2s, you can play Kate first, and then Kate gives you a 1 to play with a 2 so that you can keep your Wiccan dream alive. Scarlet Spider works 2 different, only one way. Sorry, Penny Parker, Scarlet Spider. Jeez, what's happening here? Penny Parker works in that you can play her on 2, and then she gives you a 3-drop, which keeps your Wiccan dream alive. Mirage is very good in various versions of this deck. Fenris Wolf is very good in various versions of this deck. I literally looked through this deck like 3 times to make sure there was no Fenris, but no Fenris. Red Guardian here can be Rogue. A Rogue is the standard Red Guardian replacement. Red Guardian hits more stuff. Rogue can be more powerful when it hits the right thing. Copycat or Gladiator can be Speed, Agent Coulson. Pick your poison as far as good 3-drops go. You do want to make sure that whatever you place Gladiator with has some stats. Gore and Goliath can be Magneto and Red Hulk. Those are the 4 6s in the game that are really good. Doom is good, but only in Doom 2099 decks. So the 4 6s that are generically good are Gore, Goliath, Magneto, and Rolk. You need to. All right. So again, this won a major tournament. Go watch the finals over on No Lux Given's channel. Turn 1, you want Quicksilver. Turn 2, you want Penny over Kate over Cable. Turn 3 is Gladiator over Negasonic. Or you can play the Spider. Turn 4, please play Wiccan. Or you can play a 3-drop plus. If you've got Prio, you know they're going to play something important. Negasonic is huge here. I almost lost in Gold Conquest earlier because my opponent had Negasonic, and they accurately predicted where I was going to doom twice with that Negasonic, and it was 2099, and it was very difficult. Turn 5, you want Negasonic plus whatever you can. If you've got 4 extra energy, that's great. You can play Negasonic and Gladiator, you can play Negasonic and Copycat. You got a lot of options. Or you can just drop a 6, dropping Gore here is fine. Then turn 6 is just a nice simple Eliath or Gore, and then the game is over. You have won. Congratulations. Sorry, there's also the option of turn 5 after a Wiccan, Negasonic, and Shung. So you just have a ton of options. This deck is incredibly strong, incredibly rewarding. You play you have to play while trying to both gain and lose prio depending on what's happening, which is some of my favorite Marvel Snap gameplay, right? Eliath and Negasonic really want prio. Shang very often does not want prio. It is a challenging, fun deck to play. Go watch Nolux give and play it at a top level and win a tournament. Questions of the day. Kirtix Lee asks what card should have been in Spotlights with Doom 2099 instead of Dakin and Meek. I think what they should do for card acquisition as we wait for the big update to happen, and the big update is happening, and I think it will actually fix things. That is my honest to God take right now. So I think that you want one card that plays really well with Doom 2099, and I think the easy answer for that is Zabu. And you want one card that goes in a deck that doesn't go with Doom 2099, but is otherwise like achievable and relatively cheap. And that means I think that they should have kept Hitmonkey in it. Hitmonkey was originally data mined, not Dakin, and I think Hitmonkey would have been a really, really, really great add to that month. That's 2 Series 4 cards, so they still get that extra value on there and there, but they do make it a appealing package for more people. The other card that would have been really nice to put with Doom 2099, except it was in Spotlights recently, is Lady Deathstrike. Lady Deathstrike is really good right now. I'm not seeing a lot of it, but whenever I see it, whenever I play it, it is a powerful, powerful card. Doug Pie asks what reindeer is my favorite. And I think it's Blitzen, and I don't know why. But from when I was a kid, I've always liked Blitzen. Maybe someone knows a story about Blitzen in the comments. I'd appreciate it if you know why that's the case. But from when I was a kid, it was always Blitzen. Cool. Also, a reminder, if you're in the middle of Series 3, please join our Discord. There's a channel there where you can upload your collection, and I will, at some point relatively soon, help you build some Series 3 only decks. We have a Patreon. If you're interested in supporting our Patreon, and hey, it's Christmas, so if you're sitting on an extra couple bucks and want to do something nice, go check out our Patreon. Our $2 tier comes with tournament access and a deck archive. Our $5 tier gets you early access to all of these videos, and our $10 tier gets a thanks every video along with an exclusive weekly video, although I still have to make this week's video. The holidays have been busy, y'all. But if you're interested, please do check out patreon.com/snapjudgments. I'd like to thank you too, and I'm doing this live, so I'm going to go quickly. Abigail Gleason, Manitour Burnett, Irregardless, David G. Wingfield, Dirty Casual, Downtown, LAB, FaThorNewman, Good Dog Gamer, Inc., I Am Frostman, J. Neverwheat, Thinking Poker, YOLO Potato, Primed Ryan, Ryan Burke, and Ryan Wood, Kirtix Lee, The King of Questions, Koire, Kazushi, Archangel 3K, Black Dahlia, Permafrost, The Goat Seeker, Hallowed Quid Pro Joe, Snap Decisions Joe, hey, we was just on that podcast, Brett Nick, Mr. Kerfuffle, Gables, thanks for watching, my friend, Ginger Prime, Philip Rakovich, Haplo, Kenny Loggins of The Danger Zone, Rob Silverman, The Biz of Black Jeebus, XRC and Skippy G, Jessica Gamble, hi Jess, Merry Christmas, my friend. Hopefully you're having a good one. Tommy Nyquist, who won Snap Judgments League Season 1. The King of Bros, bro. The Great Kazoo. Werewolf, thank you for hanging out, my friend. KFC Hoda, Lunar Chris, Corbin, John Q, Jim McHugh, Clam, Colonel Forbin, hanging out again with me currently. Yistout, 8th, Sage, Mod Supreme Models, The Green Goblin, Unibot. What's up, Uni? Thank you for being here. Flan56, Steven, Brian Kaufman, Tristan H. Martin, Jason B. J. D. McDonaldinho, The Fuzzy Dom, Spectrumix, Hoot, Matt H. DJ, Mikey Hijinks, No Flex, Ocularis, Mr. Craigsterry, BG, Sodrex, King of Canada, Denman Falcon, Jonesy, Two Ties, The Great Lordez, The Pirate King Tuccrr, and of course Gunny T, who was also on that podcast with Joe. But the T stands for All I Want for Christmas is my 2 front subs. Thank you for watching. You can sub by pressing the button in the middle. Don't miss out on the great videos to the right and left. We'll see you tomorrow for another Snap Take. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy anything you celebrate. No missed days, fam. No missed days. Peace.